Hey, Sunday night means it's time for another episode of BM Cluster. I am Slider, your host, and tonight Dante is with us,
Hey,
and it's his movie, and Brandon just arrived, so we actually can start the show now,
Hey guys,
because he was late from being at his own house.
you've been late being at your own house with technical difficulties, sir.
No, I was here. I was in the hangout. I was ready to go.
this
So
sounds like
Dante,
the perfect time to discuss movie about. What a wonderful beginning.
So
Our viewers are gonna just love that.
we
They
have,
really will.
if the Adjustment Bureau was real, they could fix it.
They don't go back
they
in
could.
time.
They could reset us.
They could reset us.
But it's on video. They can't go back on time. In
They
time.
could just delete the video.
I guess.
That's true. They could intercept it.
So apparently we're talking about the Adjustment Bureau.
Yeah.
And this is Dante's movie. So Dante.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, my movie. So Adjustment Bureau. It's a movie with starring Matt Damon and Emily Blunt. Yes. I don't know if you heard him. He was kind of far away from the mic there. But yeah, this movie is interesting to say the least. Basically, Matt Damon is this politician, and at the beginning of the film, he is performing very well. He's one of the youngest senator candidates or something like that, and he is just beating the pants off his opponent, his rival, and he has a moment of impulsiveness, which destroys his chances at winning the election, and he loses. And what you see in the beginning of the movie is he goes to the bathroom to kind of be by himself to collect his own thoughts and rehearse his speech a little bit or whatever. And it turns out there's a woman in the bathroom who's trying to escape from crashing a wedding. And they meet and talk, and they have this instant connection. And what ends up happening in the rest of the movie is he is trying to find her / be with her. But there's other forces that basically say you guys need to not be together. And what ends up happening is they're putting obstacles in their way, creating barriers, controlling traffic, changing people's mentalities a little bit, all to try to keep these two separated from each other. And usually, they're one of the phrases they use is "You've just seen behind a curtain you weren't supposed to know exists." They're secret and larger than life in a way. They are the wizards that you don't know about, and they just level with him, tell him who they are to a certain extent, and he's like, "I don't care if you want to keep us apart. I am never gonna try to stop finding her, or never going to stop trying to be with her." And it's that journey of this basically supernatural force trying to stop him versus his will to be with her. I enjoyed the movie. That's why I picked it. It actually touches on a lot of themes that I didn't quite talk about just yet. But I want to hear what other...
We have pictures and video and all sorts of stuff that we can use that we want to show people.
I should probably some of those. I can do that.
I had never even seen a trailer when I saw this.
So what did you think of it, Brandon?
I really enjoyed it. It was not at all what I expected.
What did you expect?
Yeah, what did you expect?
A very boring movie
all I
about
did-
it, yes. Or
I actually was expecting a really boring movie because the description on IMDb is not that helpful. It just says the affair between a politician and a ballerina is affected by mysterious forces keeping lovers apart. And I'm like, great, that's going to be boring as fuck.
And it's not really even an affair. There's
No.
I mean, I guess technically any relationship is a love affair, but in a way, I don't know.
Right.
But
So I thought it was, and then I see that when he gets to that scene where it's behind the curtains, I was like, oh, that's really interesting. That's almost Men in Black type stuff going on.
yeah. So, what about you, Slider?
I was really surprised by this movie as well when I saw it in the theater. like most normal people.
Like, I don't think that many people saw this movie.
Yeah,
Like, this is not one you can chastise him for.
Yeah, I thought one of the things that really stood out to me was I thought this was a very original way to tell this story. Earlier you kind of made reference to, like, well, not you, somebody else we had over made reference to it as kind of like a Romeo and Juliet, where they're trying to keep them apart, and I guess that is like a undercurrent of the movie. But I'd never seen anything that portrayed that story in such a way, and that was my big takeaway from this movie. It's like I thought it was a really well done combination of that type of love story and kind of like a sci-fi supernatural surrounding with the story, and that's what I really liked about it. And I'll say it again, people make fun of Matt Damon, the whole Matt Damon, right? But I think Matt Damon is a decent actor. I think
he's a great actor.
Yeah, I like a lot of
I do too. I actually don't mind him as an actor at all. I mean, even in Ocean's 11, 12, and 18, he was still good in them.
What I thought was kind of funny is when I went on IMDb, I saw that it was actually it won one award and was nominated for a few. Matt Damon was not a part of any of them. It's like supporting actress, supporting actor. I think the one they won was for stunts. So
nice.
Yeah. But yeah, one of the larger themes in this movie that we kind of hinted at a bit was it's like free will versus like fate and destiny, because in this movie they have like the reason he meets her in the bathroom is because these people from this mysterious place, they know, like, okay, if you meet her briefly, she will inspire you to give this speech, which will prepare you to win the next election. So they put them together on purpose. But then, like, we have to keep her away from you, because if you stay near her, she will actually ruin our plans for you. And, like, their plans, like, oh yeah, if you stay separate, you'll win this election and the next 4. And we're not just talking about senator, is what happens in the movie.
So we have a video clip that you can show.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll show you a video clip of, like, not so much the themes, but of, like, exactly the kind of stuff they do to try to keep them apart. So let me just load that up here.
Don't all these taxis you're diverting have plans too? Huh? How long are you gonna keep that up? 20 minutes?
Yeah, he's
An hour?
explaining.
Wow, the
like,
ripples must just be endless.
I don't care what you guys do. I'm gonna go find her.
I don't care what you put in my way. I'm not giving up.
Hey, hey, hey!
So yeah, as we described, like, they can control certain things, like all these cabs not stopping. They don't want them to stop. And he even goes so far as to,
You all right?
like,
Hurt
people.
You okay?
Just to keep them
Okay,
apart.
you
Like,
got hit. You got hit.
not
Are you
minor.
okay?
I think so.
Okay, don't move. Okay, don't. You all right?
Hey!
Oh, I just
Hey!
witnessed an accident.
You want to make a quick $100? You're gonna have to break a couple traffic
Yeah, he
laws.
finally gets into
All
a
right,
cab,
26.
and then once again, he's like,
Break the law.
yeah, and he's like, just go through it. It's gonna keep happening.
Yeah.
He's getting out of range. I don't know what to do.
All these lights are
Which must sound really weird.
Yeah, and you can see, like, they're gonna go through these doors, and then whoa, that's not where this door.
That is one of my favorite scenes of this movie right there.
Yeah.
Like, how would you react to that?
You don't tell
I would
anybody. That's what you do.
Next one.
I would react the same way what's her name? Elise did.
So that's once again one of their special powers. They can't just, like, travel anywhere. There's actually,
Sorry.
like, almost like a
he just groped her. Did you see that? He totally groped her.
He did.
Points. All he needs to do is see.
but yeah, the doors actually have, like, they don't
What?
just go wherever they
Unlock the
want.
door.
They actually have a
Somebody
corridor
threw it.
system.
Not that one. The next
So
one.
they can't just go wherever
excuse
they
me.
want.
David Norris. Have you
Follow
seen
the
Elise?
Yes.
Blocking them off.
You see where he's trying to go in? He lost his hat. Can't go in without his hat. And bam. She sees him dance.
He's already seen it.
And it's like, okay,
He
we
needs a rip a little bit.
passed a point.
Subway. Don't all these taxis you're diverting have plans too?
So, go ahead, Brandon.
No, I was thinking I was just poking fun at the fact that it was looping.
Okay.
So anyway, it was just an interesting way. I really enjoyed the way that they used the doors to go in and out and to go through different places. And there was this theological undercurrent, where these guys, not only were they guiding people on the plan, they almost seemed like they had an angelic function.
Yeah, they were definitely angels seeming. Like, are you guys angels? Like some people call us that.
Right.
They never denied it, and it's like kind of,
Also-
sort of, maybe. And they even talked about
extremely
their
similar.
boss,
Yeah, the chairman.
the chairman. Yeah.
It was an chairman obviously being an allegory for God.
Yeah.
That they never showed us. They
Yeah.
never showed us God.
Yeah.
And I liked that. It was one of the things I liked about this movie.
And even at the very end, and if you didn't know already, like we always say, spoilers everywhere. Like he says, like you probably already met him or her, like sort of a thing that's like
Most people don't know when it happens.
yeah. And I am not a religious or spiritual person, and this movie is still completely worth watching. It's not like all like it's just very an interesting way to just, like I said, the way the story is told and the way they bring up this subject where you can just accept it, and it's not
subtle.
it's not sappy either.
It's subtle because they don't. It's not supple. It's subtle.
Although it could be both.
And that's what I was expecting myself. I was expecting something sappy from what I was reading, and I was like, but I was completely wrong on that. Not sappy at all. It was actually pretty exciting at moments too, with him trying to figure out, especially running through the door system.
Right. And
when he first started that.
But what I was going to say though is that they don't beat you over the head with the stuff. They respected the audience in this story.
And it was really it's a very realistic movie. Like you can it's almost like when Christopher Nolan did the first Batman movie, where it's kind of like comic book movies are usually like in this fantasy world that is not like our own at all, and he turned that fantasy into it really seems like it could be this world.
Right.
And this movie, with all of the magic, so to speak, in it, still feels like this could be happening in this world right now today.
Because it seemed like the real world was a layer on top of that supernatural world.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, a sign that it was really well done. And the relationship between them felt very real. And not that I want to get all sappy about it, but I have felt that. I have felt that, lightning bolt, the one. I actually had a similar type of situation in New Orleans where I left my friends because they were all, busy at the strip club. And I went to Café Du Monde, which is a famous cafe on Bourbon Street. And there was this really bright full moon and a clear sky. And I just happened to say out loud, because I often say things out loud to
Yeah,
myself.
it's kind of weird.
I just happened to say, man, that is a really beautiful moon. And from behind me, this person said, yes, it really is. And it was this woman sitting there by herself, right? I asked her if I could join her. We talked, had coffee, had beignets, went for a walk along the river, had a great night. Never got her name. Never got her name. Never, it was perfect the way it was. I've never seen her again. I don't know who she is. I have no idea if she lived there. If she
It'd
was
be
on
so
vacation.
awesome if she saw this. I'm that girl. And she'll totally troll you on YouTube.
It's part of the plan.
But it was a good night. It was instant chemistry. Now
That was your bathroom moment.
yes.
That's
Now,
a reference to the meeting in the bathroom.
right.
Yeah.
So, I actually I can relate to that kind of thing happening. Now, I didn't want to chase her down. I didn't run into her on a bus the next day or anything like that. Now, if I did, who knows how I would have reacted.
Right.
But the Adjustment Bureau got there first.
Yeah. Something I thought was kind of funny. You said you never got her name.
Yes.
But that was one of the things you kind of wonder. Like he did get her name eventually. Like not the
He
first
got her
time.
number.
Yeah, but that was the second meeting, right? The second meeting on the bus, not.
Yeah, the first meeting was name only. Second meeting was phone number. Then it got burned.
Yeah.
Right.
So one of the things he said, which is a pretty nice line to try to, reestablish a relationship with a girl that you've left.
I know exactly which one you're talking about.
Like, do you know if you Google Elise, you get 750,000 results, and you're not one of them?
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's not even like, oh my God, I can't do this. It's like, I tried.
Right.
Even though, no, you didn't. But I had to Google Elise after that.
Right.
Just to like, okay. This movie was 2011.
Mhm.
And it is now 2014. Maybe it was 750,000 then. It is currently 24.5 million. Yeah.
But
And
again,
a lot of those are from
also
League of
before
Legends.
this movie could have spawned so many more.
Yeah. But yeah, League of Legends is like the first 3 pages. It's a very good character, by the way.
But anyway, back to my point was that that moment is possible. That moment felt very real. So the fact that they were able to, when they did reconnect, instantly find that chemistry again was completely believable on my part.
And even like how upset she was and what he had to do to try to win her back, even like when it's like, oh, like what if I have a boyfriend? Like, yeah, I'd care. Like, oh, so you don't really care? Like, okay, I would care. Like now you're just saying what I want to hear. It's like he's still got to fight for her,
Right.
even though it's playful at the same time.
Right. Well, that's chemistry.
Yeah.
That's chemistry at play right there.
Yeah.
And watching that was fun. Watching them banter, watching the race. When she's like, I'll race you to that pole, and if I win, you dance for me. If I win, I dance for you, right? And he's running backwards because she can't run in high heels, right? And then she's like, you're right. This, I can't run in these shoes. Then she punches him in the stomach.
Yeah.
So that she can win the race.
That's legit, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's true love.
So the non-supernatural portion of the story felt very real. It felt like you were watching a true relationship evolve. And that's another thing I really enjoyed about the movie. It wasn't over-the-top sappy. It wasn't this epic type of romance where somebody had to cross seas and fight fires. No, this is a dude who ran into her on a bus.
Although this dude is like senator and going for election, and like he's not a nobody.
Right.
He's just not a superhero.
Right.
He's just future president, maybe.
Exactly. So
you know what I liked? One of the things I liked, is it's actually a surprisingly dark movie in terms of lighting. Like when you actually look at it, I know that's not what you're expecting, right? Yeah. But look at any of these shots, so much of it is just dark. It's like there's lots of very deep blacks.
So they refer to this a lot in the movie. They talk about the substrate,
Okay.
which is what the Adjustment Bureau uses to travel. So a lot of these scenes are that. Then there's things like her dance studio. That it's completely believable that that's going to be a dark space because it's a performance space.
Yeah.
So there are a lot. The tone, the temperature of the movie is very dark.
Yeah.
It's very toned down. But they're playing even the scene that we had in the video clip. They're outdoors, but it's a very overcast day.
Yeah. And just the way they play the shadows, they make sure even right here out and it's rainy and stuff. It's always they go for a very dark, almost shiny.
Okay. I got to ask you to find that picture. The one that just passed. The black dress.
Oh, you like that dress?
Because I have a question.
Oh.
And I want to know if it's only me or if, this is legit.
All right. This might take me a minute or
Okay,
two. Wait.
but
I'm scared to hear the question.
Okay.
Oh,
that's
yeah, you're way at the
off.
beginning.
All right. So let me go back to this loop while I'm searching again.
So we were or not we. I was watching this movie the first time, and not only was it an original way for them to tell this story, the way they shot the scenes, I think, were really, really, really well done. In particular, when they're in the final chase scene, and they're running, where they go through the doors. He's got the hat, so she's able to go with him, and they come out into the stadium. That first shot where she walks out into the stadium, the way they angled it up and just pulled back and showed you just how open the space was, and just it was just really, it was an overwhelming feeling for her, and the shot.
Yeah, especially because honestly, her reaction was amazing. Like her just, what the hell is going on?
Right. And, she was overwhelmed by what was going on, and that shot really gave you this overwhelming sense. It's like, look how big this space is. So it went together really well, and I think it was really, a really good choice to do. And they did a lot of stuff like that. All of the shots really matched what was going on at the time in the story really well.
Right.
Okay, so back to this dress. Okay? Look at the chain she has on. Okay? Is that chain clinging to the inside of her breasts? Like conforming to the curves of her breasts?
It looks like it's painted on.
It looks like
Yes.
it is.
That is what I thought. So why would they do that? Why would they, is this a thing, that I just never noticed on girls before? Where,
maybe it's just
stick a
that
chain to
small
themselves?
one.
What's that?
Maybe it's just that small. Maybe it's just that thin, and it just looks that way, but it really is hanging there.
But, I mean, it looks like it comes down in between her breasts and like it curves and then curves back, which is just not a natural way for something to fall. And in this picture, I can see what you're saying, Brandon, but when she's walking and, her body is moving, the chain isn't.
Yeah, it looks like it's painted on.
It looks like they stuck it in place. So it's like that was something that really stuck out to me. I don't know why. I mean,
You're just staring at her boobs.
because it's a breast, but the chain really distracted from her breasts.
Maybe that's the point.
So I thought
Chain detracted from her breasts.
yeah, the chain distracted me from her breasts. I was like, why isn't that chain moving? Why is it conforming to the curve of her? That's not natural.
The things you think of when watching movies is ridiculous.
It was another supernatural element to this film.
Oh. Wow.
She has
Now, with all the supernatural going on, like it actually seemed very similar in at least how things ran to the Matrix. It is overseen by other, entities and govern how people only think they have free will and they really don't.
I'm
They even had doors.
having a hard time buying that one.
They even had doors.
The doors are somewhat of a parallel, but I mean these people were like slaves. They were, in the Matrix. They were
Battery
yeah.
farms.
They were. What was going on was inside their head.
But that's only because that's shown to you.
I understand. I don't know. I have a hard time making that connection between these two films. Maybe it's just because they're radically different stories. But I'm not saying what you're saying is invalid. I just don't see it. See, there's the chain again. Look at it. Look at it. Look at how it like you can't even see the bottom of it. It's like, what is that chain doing? Why is it defying the laws of physics? So, anyway.
Now there's going to be a sequel. It's all revolving. Like, the hats were special. The chain is also special.
Turns out she's one of them.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be terrible.
But some of the interesting things I saw when I was looking up things about this movie, when she writes down her number on the card, she does not use the typical 555 fake number thing that most movies use.
Yeah.
She actually gives him a real number that belongs to Universal Studios.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, that's amazing.
That number has been used in Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, definitely maybe in several other of their films, because they felt that the 555 prefix is overused.
Yeah. I actually heard something a while back where, like, there are actually some numbers that aren't 555 that I don't know if they're for fake usage, but basically like these numbers won't be real, so you can like use them in movies without worrying about accidentally, calling someone for real or something, and it doesn't look so
Right.
terrible.
Another thing is, did you guys catch the names of the main characters in the Adjustment Bureau that we see?
Richardson,
Right.
Thompson, some of those.
Yeah, but like you guys don't catch the
No.
reference?
No.
It's Tom, Dick, and Harry.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Huh.
It's a reference to anonymity. It's like how these guys are just these anonymous force
That's pretty
behind
cool.
the scenes. So I thought that was really interesting when I saw that.
That is really interesting. I never would have thought of that. I thought Anthony Mackie's performance was pretty good. I'm starting to see him more and more in things.
Yeah, I think this was actually the first movie where I noticed him, like where he stuck out to me. I mean, I'd seen him in other things, but this is the
Like
first.
Captain America.
Well, that was long after this. But
What about painting?
huh? That was
Painting
again
Damon.
long after this. I'm saying that this was the first movie where he really caught my attention as an actor.
He was in $1 Million Baby and The Hurt Locker.
I didn't
apparently.
see either one of those.
He was in Real Steel.
Same year.
Real Steel?
Yeah, we discussed that.
Yeah, I know.
I think we discussed more movies with him
Than anyone else.
than with Matt Damon.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we have.
But
So apparently we really like Anthony Mackie.
but my point was that up until I'd seen this movie, I guess I wouldn't call myself a fan of his. Nothing he had done really was one of the things like, oh, it's like Anthony Mackie and this was good. So this was the first time that I really noticed him, and it made me take notice in other things that he's done. And one of the other things, I'm going to change the tone drastically here for a second because of one of the pictures I just saw. Why did they all have the same hat?
It was a special hat.
No, it wasn't.
Well, they didn't
They're all
all
special.
have the same hat. It's because there was the cop. He was one of them.
That's what I'm saying. They're
Those are all different.
the same style.
Well, because they're awesome.
Yeah, they're bringing
Why wouldn't
it
you want
back.
that?
Anthony Mackie specifically says, don't trust anyone in a hat. I don't care what it is, even a yarmulke. So it can take any form. Why do they all use the same style of hat?
Style. Like they're all wearing like suits and stuff.
I don't know.
Like you wouldn't wear a baseball cap while you're dressing all fancy.
So why do you have to wear a suit?
That's true.
Why wouldn't you?
I don't wear a suit to work.
Well,
You don't wear a suit to work.
because I have to wear something else.
Because in Manhattan or where you could look like really anonymous wearing a suit. No one's gonna notice you.
No, I get that. I'm just being facetious about the suit thing. But like, I was mad that they all had to wear the same kind of hat. And I guess it's supposed to be like a uniform thing. It's
She
like,
has
this
no
is your
necklace
job.
there.
What's that?
She has no necklace there.
Well, yeah,
I know. I was only in that black dress.
Yeah, there's a series of time. I mean, she doesn't always wear it.
So.
I wonder what the proper amount of scuffing was. Like, I didn't really get.
I couldn't.
That was such an awesome speech.
Yes, it was.
like when people came up to me and saying, I love your speech. I would vote I would vote for him too.
What? Let's talk about the politics of this movie for a second, right? What fucking difference does it make if somebody mooned their friend at a college reunion? The guy has a sense of humor. I don't think that should devastate his political career, and I think, in my opinion anyway, it's a statement on just how fucked up our political system really is. Because it's such a stupid thing. It's not like it's not like he stole something. It's not like he committed a crime. Well, I guess public nudity.
Well,
Really?
physical assault because he hit someone in a bar.
No. That was the bar fight. That's not what I'm talking about. What threw him off was he was at a reunion and he mooned his friend, and that was what they ran like the full page ad on.
Yeah, and what newspaper would actually do that? I don't think a newspaper is going to put someone's ass on the front of it.
I don't think it was his ass. I just think it was the event.
Yeah, and honestly, if the next senator to be Had that happen, it would be on the front page of a bunch of different newspapers.
You know, but my point is, it's so stupid.
I agree.
It's such a dumb thing to worry about. You know, this guy was doing great, and then he moons someone, and that kills his chances. It didn't make any sense.
Well, I think it's the whole idea is like
I thought it was the bar fight that ruined his chances.
No, he
Two
had
different
gotten
elections.
he had gotten through the bar fight. You know, like, I mean, that was like public knowledge. People knew about that already when he was running. You know, and he actually addresses it. As a matter of fact, they talk about it on the Jon Stewart show. You know, but the thing about dropping his pants happened, you know, when he was actively running.
Right.
And again, I just think some of the dumbest shit we choose to focus on for this kind of stuff. That's actually that made me a little angry during the show. During the movie. Right. So, but I got over it.
Yeah.
But there's the phone number, by the way.
Okay.
664-7665.
Was that what it was?
Yeah. 212.
So now we can call Universal Studios.
Yes. We should
Yes.
call it number. We should call that number right now.
Invite them to the hangout. That's not.
66. What did you say the number was?
212-664-7665.
Okay, that is the number they have listed.
Okay.
So you know, anyway, this movie was really well done, really well acted. It's a good story. It's original. I think it's self-contained. I don't see them doing a sequel.
Did you have any thoughts on the water?
There
I didn't
is.
quite understand.
Okay, so this is another reference to angel lore, I think. I don't know the whole thing behind it, but there's something about angels and water. There's some kind of relationship. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's negative or positive, or you know, if it clouds their vision like it does in the movie. I just know there's some relationship between angels and water. I'd have to research it really to figure it out. But it could have, you know, I could be just pulling this out of my ass because it was a useful plot device.
Yeah,
It allowed
that's
them.
basically all it was.
Yeah,
It
allowed
didn't
them-
bother me though. Did it bother you at all?
No.
Okay.
Why did it bother you?
I said it didn't.
Oh, I'm sorry. So
I thought it had the potential though
to bother you?
to be like because it's like, oh, that's convenient. You know.
I hate convenience.
Sometimes you do, and you know it's true.
The thing is, everything is convenient in this movie just because of what they do. It's like, oh, that's convenient. The cell phone doesn't work anymore.
Isn't that the Lego song? Everything's convenient.
There's a Lego song.
The Lego movie?
Never seen a Lego movie.
I haven't.
Never seen the Lego movie?
I haven't seen it.
That surprises me.
I heard it was pretty good.
I didn't care for it. Different discussion.
Okay.
But I didn't care for it. But there's like "Everything Is Awesome" is the name of the song.
Okay.
Everything is awesome. A lot of people know it. It's pretty.
I've heard those words. I did not know it came from the Lego movie.
So I'm calling Universal Studios right now. Can you hear the ringing? I'm just curious.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. It's only 6:45 over there, but it is Sunday.
Yeah, it is Sunday.
What is your plan?
I don't know. I just want to see what they say. I don't think I think it just rings forever. I bet you it's a line they don't use.
Yeah.
It's good though.
Give it up.
I think
All right,
that's been
yeah,
long enough.
I'm done. They're not gonna answer. They're watching the show, going, "Don't pick up."
We do have a viewer.
But
The viewer is Jonathan.
well, thanks for outing him.
Taylor Thomas?
Yes.
Yes.
What's Taylor Thomas?
What's he doing nowadays? Never
No.
mind.
Don't care. But if you haven't seen this movie, I would highly suggest it. It's a good movie to watch on your own. It's a good movie to watch with friends, and it's a good movie to watch on date night. It's a multi-purpose movie.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. I would fully agree with that.
So this ought to be interesting. Who are we going to replace with Sam Jackson in this movie? Who would Sam Jackson be?
The easy one is Elsie, but
Who's Elsie?
I don't know. I'm sorry, Elise.
Yeah,
No, I think no. Screw it. He should be Elsie. It's like an extra. All right, Dante.
Elise.
Richardson. I'd say Richardson. Like the guy. One thing I never talked about that I kind of wanted to. Like I thought it was kind of interesting how they're like, this job's kind of tough. Let's let this other guy do it.
Yeah.
Like they're kind of slackers. It's like I can't do this. We'll get like this would be easy for him.
There's a bureaucracy.
Yeah, there really is. But yeah, the guy, Richardson. I could see him.
So now we're gonna derail a little bit because that same thing was done in a movie with Albert Brooks called Defending Your Life.
I remember that movie.
And there's this whole bureaucracy around, getting into heaven. So it's not the first time they've done something like that, but again, very original in the way they told it.
Yeah.
I would actually say Matt Damon because it would be really interesting to have Sam Jackson who doesn't trust people, and playing someone who is getting screwed over by God.
So I would want to replace what is his name? Charlie Trainer. He's like the political campaign.
Michael Kelly.
He's Michael Kelly, yes. He was the guy that was like running his campaign, standing off to the side when he's giving that speech.
Yeah.
Right. And he even at that point he's like, oh, what a fucking asshole.
He's like, this, it costs $7,300 to get the right stuffing.
So
that is absurd.
I think that he would have been great in that character's position. I think he would have been hilarious.
Probably.
And then, the big question, how is this movie like Gladiator, Dante?
Well, he had to overcome some great odds, that's for sure.
Actually, they even specifically talk about Rome.
They do. They actually talk about Rome. But you're not Dante, so your answer doesn't count.
So if I say it now, it will?
Because this is Dante's question.
Yeah. Well, yeah, so overcome great odds, like...
I think you failed on this one, because if you use his answer, you're cheating.
I said overcame great odds. I haven't even repeated him yet. So I don't see how I failed. Because it's a great movie.
Great, yes. Successful, no. This movie had a production budget of $50.2 million.
Wow.
And it only made $62 million domestically. Worldwide, it made $127. So, not a blockbuster.
No. It went the way of
these movies. Yes. These movies usually aren't blockbusters.
But again, very, very good. So I think I'm starting to ramble.
Okay.
A little bit.
Pick a movie?
I guess time to pick a movie.
Yeah.
We've done all the other stuff.
No. No. Are we picking it today, or are we picking it next week when we do the Marvel?
Next week we're doing the Marvel wrap-up. We're going to be doing it at a different location, so it's going to be a little different. We've got some extra people. We got Rick Shea, who is the local comic book shop owner. He's going to be in on the panel with us. And I believe we're going to have Fawad Siddiqui. I haven't confirmed that yet.
Okay.
So we're going to be doing it from there. So it should be fun.
Should be.
Yes. So let's go ahead and do this. So this movie is not for next week. It's for the following week. Just because it's for the following week doesn't mean that you can still wait till the last minute and watch it, Brandon. Just saying. Yeah, it means you have 2 weeks to watch it.
I understand.
Okay. All right. Let's see if I can.
Centripetal force.
Ta-da!
Woo!
B6.
Wow. How'd you do that? Look.
Totally not B6.
Totally not B6.
Yeah. I think we all saw that coming.
I-20.
I-20.
It would actually been funny if it was B6, though.
Seeing as our first number's 13, 6
I don't know what the hell the numbers are. No, 6 wasn't you. 6 was you couldn't find it.
Oh. Hey, that's really kind of funny, because just before the show. I was like, I wonder when we're going to get to talk about this movie. So,
Seeking a Friend at the End of the World?
or the end of the world.
Or the End of the World.
Never heard of it.
I'm surprised you've never heard of it because that guy is in it.
Russell Crowe?
No. Steve
Carell.
Not Steve Carell.
Gutenberg?
40-year-old virgin.
Carell.
That is his name.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what? I was just talking about this movie earlier.
Even though you'd never heard of it?
I didn't know that it was called this. So I was actually talking about it about a guy, who like continues to go to work. I was talking about it with Steve about a guy who continues to go to work when an asteroid's going to hit the Earth. I'm like, fuck that! I wouldn't go to work.
Barely go to work now. But yeah, I haven't seen it. This is one of those movies where I thought it was interesting, and I wasn't going to watch it until it came up. So this will be. I have nothing to say about this movie
Yet.
preemptively. 2 weeks from tonight, we'll be Seeking a Friend for the End of the World. Next week, we are going to talk about all of the Marvel movies going from all of the superhero movies going forward from Iron Man 3 on, which is Phase 2 in the Marvel universe. We're going to be talking about that. We're going to doing that with our friends. We'll be at a different location. It'll be a good time for us anyway. I don't really give a shit about what you guys think. But any closing thoughts, people? Oh, wait. Solar freaking roadways!
Yeah.
You forgot to
What?
talk about it.
Okay, yeah, Solar freaking roadways. They're pretty awesome. Basically, there's an Indiegogo thing, which is like Kickstarter, if you haven't heard of it, where they're actually trying to get these little solar hexagons.
Oh, yes. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, and they do like a million different things. Like they'll heat up so snow will melt, so you can actually don't have to worry about paving your lawn or driveway. Did I say paving? I meant shoveling.
You did say paving.
Yeah, and then like they'll do things like, oh, they're pressure sensitive, so if there's like a moose around the corner, you'll see a sign that says slow down on the road. Like you can like light them up so that like if you need extra handicap spaces, it'll just create one on the fly. You can have them playground, so if you want to play basketball, you have a basketball court, but then if you want to switch it up and do hopscotch and foursquare, you just switch it up. And they're solar powered, and so you can actually if you have an electric car, you sync all that up, and the road is powering your car. It's insane.
Well, they're solar freaking roadways.
Exactly. So yeah, it's pretty impressive stuff, and you should check out the video. They actually it got a slow start with their fundraising, but once they got this person made a second video for them, and it really took off, and it's doing great. Except my cat is freaking on this cord. So there we go.
Yeah, I did see that myself. I've seen a few pictures of them now, and I have not watched the video yet, but it does look really interesting and would be amazing if our roads were like that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The other part that they mentioned quite a bit is it would look like Tron. So yeah, if nothing else, that's a reason to go for it right there.
Actually, they talk about what if you were at a concert, an open air concert, and they had these LED capable floors. That would be really trippy.
So yeah. It's once you hear about it, you want it to happen right now. So while they did meet their goal, if you give them more money, I'm sure they can do more faster.
Yes. And they are talking about actually having not just the roads, but they're talking about sidewalks, landing strips, driveways. Millions and millions and millions of square feet of solar collectors, which I believe the number they said was if we did that, if all of our roads, just our roads, were solar powered, we would produce 3 times the amount of energy that the country currently consumes.
Yeah, and we are number 1 or number 2. I don't remember if China beat us yet, but like we consume the most energy.
Right.
Even though our population is so much smaller.
So
anyway,
if you're watching this and you're interested at all, go to their Indiegogo site. We'll put a link to it in the description, and you know, throw them a couple bucks. You know, then you could say that you paid for it, like you built the solar highway of the future. So on that completely random, unrelated note, that's a wrap.